right, hey y'all, pardon my tardiness. Just getting back from a dinner with some folks that are actually in my network. But yeah, so I do want to just jump right on into the topic. I don't want to keep you guys up too late. Happy Halloween. But I think that it's important that we have this conversation about networking, start to remove some of the anxiousness around reaching out to people that are in your circle, help us remove, the fear connected to it, and just some things we can do to really start to elevate our brand. So I tried to be fancy and create a Facebook event for this, and you know how that goes. But that's all a part of the learning and growing process, trying things and just going with it. And if anything, you learn from the process. So tonight, I want to share, some of the strategies that I have been implementing to really start to move inside of my network, and really build and establish relationships. So this all came about because it is homecoming season. And so for many of us that went to colleges or universities, it's the time to go back to our alma mater and, reconnect with some of the people that are there. And while it can be a great time, to have fun and relive those days, and it's also an opportunity to connect with folks that are also moving and shaking in the spaces that you want to be in or spaces that you might want to connect with. And so I want to talk about, how we can start to navigate that, and even beyond just our college or university networks, start to really make connections and leverage the relationships that we have and build together. But yeah, so if you're hopping on, drop me a note so I know who's here. So that way, if there's something specific, I can speak to that. But hey guys, thanks for coming on. So the first thing I want to talk about is leveraging your college or university networks. One of the biggest benefits of attending a university, I believe, is the people that actually attended that university. Now, the education itself is great, but one thing we have learned is that information is always changing and growing. So you have to consistently be learning regardless. But when you go to an institution, you are surrounded by people who are trying to improve their lives, trying to learn, trying to grow. And so it would behoove you to build those relationships and really start to connect with those people. So find out, okay, who in my college or university is somebody that I can connect with that might have the same mission as me, might be trying to impact the same target audience as me, and we can start to collaborate. Then in addition to that, get in connection with the decision makers of that institution. So it's one thing to connect with your peers, which is great. We absolutely should. But as somebody who went to that institution, you have a relationship with the people that are in space to make decisions. And so that might be the leverage you need to say, hey, as a former student here, I would love to come back and bring XYZ service or resource or product to our institution. How do I go about making that happen? And so I think for a lot of us, we have to step out of this fear or this comfort zone where we are afraid to ask and make demands, not really so much demands, but really ask for the support and not worry about what people are going to think about you. And I think for many of us, that is the hindrance. We are concerned with, well, am I qualified? Are they going to take me serious? I might not look the part, or whatever thought might be going through your head. That could be one of the things that is holding you back. But I'm telling you, there are people who are not as brilliant as you are, who are not as qualified as you are, that are getting opportunities because they simply ask for them. And so we have to put ourselves in position to leverage the connections that we have to get the opportunity. So using your university, your college networks. The next place that I would suggest making sure that you use your network is your high school's alumni association. And so something to say about this is, especially for those of us who are still local, and I talked about this on my podcast, you have a hometown connection to the high school that you attended. And even if you are no longer present, your contribution matters. a lot of us think about our schools, the high schools that we graduated from, it's a distant memory. But the truth is, there are adults in that building, there are youth in that building, there are families, communities connected to that building that you can be making an impact on. And so reaching back out to say, hey, what programs do you already have in place? Are you looking for anybody that provides XYZ resources? This was actually something that I started to initiate this following weekend. I saw the principal at my old high school. And so I'm looking to get inside of that building and to start to develop that relationship. And the beauty about that is with both of these two groups of people, you have a personal connection. And so it's not just like some outsider coming in to just try to play their hand. You have a personal relationship. And so people know, hey, this person probably cares a little bit more than the average person. So those two places are great places to start. Another way you can start to use the power in your network is to think about the organizations that you are involved in, the affinity groups that you belong to, things that interest you, and just really start to get out and talk to people, but in spaces that you're a little bit more comfortable. So I think a lot of us don't like the networking thing because it's like, oh, we're at this mixer and everybody's just here to pass out cards, and that gets really dry really quickly. But if you go to events where the focus is not to network, but it is to focus on something that is a specific interest. So maybe you are somebody who likes to drink wine and you go to a wine tasting event. That's an opportunity to talk to other people who have a similar interest as you. Maybe you like, I don't know, cheese that goes with wine. That's probably why I went there. But there's something that you like to do that you don't mind talking about that other people like to do as well. And so you can find places like that. There's an app called Meetup that you can find other people who fit that affinity and meet with them, network with them, and get to know them around this specific topic versus it just being, some random networking event. Hey, come trade business cards with other people that probably are not going to respond back to you. So start to think about, okay, what are the things that you like that you actually don't mind talking about, and it won't be an awkward conversation, and start from there to have conversations. So for me, I like coaching. And so a place for me to be able to coach is, for a place for me to be able to connect is coaches clinics, places where youth sports are. So I can connect with other people that enjoy coaching too, get to know them and find out, hey, what else do you do? So we have to start being a little bit more strategic about putting ourselves in the places where it benefits us and not just networking for the sake of networking. So think about, what the things are that you like to do, and then just Google other groups of people that like to do those things. But if that is something that intimidates you, you can start with your university, your high school, any other organizations that have a clear, defined common interest to begin to start to build those networks. It can be as simple as an email, reaching out. If you want to pick up the phone and call, that's a good way too. But with people being so busy, an email works great. Just make it personalized. Hey, I'm reaching out because of this. And start to build that relationship. The worst thing people can say is no. But we will never hear the no if we never reach out. And then you'll never know because you didn't try. So my mission for us, my goal for us is to start to reach out and not be afraid of the no, so that you can start to build some quality relationships around building a community together. So that's really all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those. I'll stay here for just a moment while some other folks log on. But yeah, so that was the recap. It really was to tap into, this homecoming spirit. Go back to your college or university, go back to your high school, go back to the organizations that you may have once been involved in, reconnect with these individuals, and really just check in to see, hey, how can we collaborate? What can I do to support what you have going on so that we're growing together? I think another thing is too, a lot of people are not used to people reaching out saying, how can I help? Many people are used to people coming in saying, what can I take? So be somebody that is willing to give first. And you'll see that people are much warmer to that. But again, you have to come with pure intentions. It can't just be, oh, I'm going to give because I'm expecting you to give back. Really just give to give, and watch it turn around. So yeah, that is all I have. I will be releasing a bonus podcast episode tomorrow at noon. So stay tuned for that. The podcast is called My Last Dime. If you're not following already on the Facebook page, there's also a Instagram, and the podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher, we're on Spotify, Anchor, where else? Most of the major places. So episode 6, the bonus episode, will release tomorrow. Hopefully this was helpful. Talk to you guys soon.